Hello, welcome back again. The market is about to open in about, I guess, a couple of hours from now. And so I wanted to make an update video for Alibaba, a stock that has been, the passion of a lot of investors and traders alike. And so a couple of days ago, we had this massive increase in its price, went up about 37% at the end of the day, and kept growing higher and higher every day. Now, yesterday it relaxed a little bit, went down about 4 to 5%, I believe. I think it was actually 6%. But that's to be expected, especially after a very, very steep increase. This is very, very normal because at some point traders and sometimes investors even will be taking some profit from their trade. And especially those who bought at the very early stages or the day before. If they have gained 37% and they hold hundreds of thousands of dollars, they could potentially, sell some in order to gain back some of their money and make some profit, and also decrease, the percentage of their holdings for Alibaba. Because, if you gain 37%, you have increased your portfolio quite a lot from a single stock, and so at times they want to balance that out by selling some stock. And so generally speaking, you will be seeing a little bit of selling, so that's very, very normal. And also market conditions could affect that as well. So if we're having a down day, you can see a little bit of a selling going on for Alibaba. But that's not the point. We want to examine what's going to be happening in the next few months or so. And I wanted to point out a couple of articles here that I found very, very interesting. And I wanted us to talk a little bit about those. I wanted to start with this one, the one that talks about Alibaba and other Chinese stocks that will potentially rip this year. And I find that Chinese stocks right now are very, very interesting because they're very undervalued. For the most part, not all of them, of course. But after the Chinese stock market has gone down so much, a lot of these amazing companies that are making a lot of money, tons of profit, are selling at a massive discount. And I will be making more videos, in the next few days or so, in which I will be talking about other companies as well. And I will talk about Didi, Tencent, and of course Alibaba, because Alibaba is a company that has gone down massively and it's making tons of free cash flow. And it's pretty much amazing in terms of financials. Now you will see here that the strategist from Great Hill Capital was actually gave an interview at Yahoo Finance, and he mentioned that Alibaba's ADRs could rip higher after a massive relief rally spurred by an ease of regulatory risks, said one equity manager here in again Great Hill Capital. And after this soaring of 30%, and the next couple of days where the stock actually seems to be relaxing a little bit, this change in regulations and this actual potential of less risk for like a delist or anything of that sort, has hit investors well, and we could be seeing more money coming into Alibaba pretty soon. Now, in the long run, I do expect Alibaba to grow in terms of its stock value, but you could even see that in the short run, and don't get tricked by the fact that the stock has been not doing anything in the past couple of days. This is typical. I guess the market is expecting for some news, and this is why I wanted to make this video, because you may have heard about China potentially providing some support to companies, and they did come back and said that they will be supporting their companies, and this means they will actually support the market. And this is one of the reasons why the whole Chinese index went higher, massively, tons higher than before in the last couple of days. Now, there was something else that you may have missed, and I wanted to talk about. And this is mentioned in this article here. And as you'll see over here, the article starts by talking a little bit about Alibaba and some of the regulations and anti-monopoly fine that Alibaba got here. Now, fines and things of that sort are very, very normal for companies, so that shouldn't affect you at all. But you will see that Alibaba's shares peaked at $320 and then fell sharply, 77% actually, from there to $73, giving us a fantastic discount here. And this is why I bought about $20,000 worth of shares, really, in Alibaba. Total for now, that's how much I bought. And other stocks as well in the Chinese tech sector especially have massively been beaten down. But then they jumped higher, much higher in the last couple of trading sessions. That was Tencent and JD, which both soared with Alibaba about 30 to 40% each, really. And there has been a little bit of a fear factor, as you can see here, and as we know about, but it isn't really related to fundamentals, and this is what the article points out here. It makes a lot of sense because it's not about the fundamentals, it's about the politics. And as I mentioned in the previous videos that I've made, politics eventually go away, and you will be looking at a company that's making tons of money, and even though it's growing a little bit, it's actually residing a little bit in terms of its growth. So it has a little bit of a declining growth here. It's still growing, and overall annually it's going to be growing pretty nicely, and so it's really worthwhile potentially holding the company. This is why I bought. And the article also points to the fact that this is a risk worth taking, really. But the thing that I wanted to talk to you about, and this is very important, and actually had to kind of pause the video a little bit to find the specific point here, is this fact that according to Financial Times, Beijing is preparing to allow Chinese companies listed in the US to provide audit information that has long been requested by US regulators. And if that happens, as you can understand, this will be an insane piece of news for the markets. Now imagine this will really help other investors have much less fear about a potential delist for Alibaba. So if we're talking about China actually allowing the US to receive this kind of audit information that they want, then all this risk and all this fear that has been growing and growing will go away. And this is the most important reason why I wanted to make this video, because this kind of news may not have been very clear to people. And people did know about China actually potentially helping the Chinese companies, and this is what they did say. And this has been communicated a lot in all sorts of different channels about investing. But this fact, the fact that actually China, the Chinese government, is actually preparing to allow the companies and actually pretty much adhere to what the US is asking, this is very big news. And so if that happens again, we will potentially be expecting the stocks, the Chinese stocks, to go even higher. So if that becomes, if that becomes a thing really, and if they get down to this agreement, then I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to be having another similar day where all these Chinese stocks will be going up like 30% again. Now I don't know if this will happen, of course, but bear that in mind. I mean, this is something to know about and keep an eye on. And I will be making more videos about it as we're getting more news, and keep you informed. Anything new that I learn about Alibaba, and I think that's interesting to people, I will be making videos about, but I really wanted to communicate this one. And of course the fact that, very interesting way to phrase it here, the meltdown of the property sector meant it had gone too far in the pursuit of common prosperity. And that's about the Chinese government pretty much. And as you see, the Vice Premier said, who heads up China's top financial policy committee, said the government should actively introduce policies that benefit markets. So all these pieces of information here, all this news summed up in these two paragraphs are super important. And again, I wanted to communicate those in this video. And hopefully you enjoyed that. If you are new here, please subscribe and leave a like. That helps the channel grow and bring the content to more people. And eventually, if you're a subscriber, you will be gaining access to our tool here, our exclusive tool that we are making for this community. And you will be the first to learn about how it's proceeding, and any new news about the tool release really. So thank you for watching this one, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like this kind of content, again, please remember to subscribe. But in the meantime, take a look at this video that I made earlier, and it discusses ARKK, the well-known innovation ETF of Cathy Wood. And in this one, we're taking a look at Coinbase, and I think it's very interesting. Take a look at that if you want to. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.